Good morning. Welcome back. We've got to deal with this today. We're going to get our fuel tank down to the welding shop. That's my first thing we're going to do this morning here. And then come back and deal with that here later this afternoon. Maybe we'll move this stuff out and get a planter in here. I don't know. We're going to see. Before we do much else, though, I've had a couple of you request that I turn the lights on this tractor with it in the shop. Now, it's light outside, so it's not super dark in here. But yeah, we can turn the lights on. Watch this. And the camera just doesn't do it justice because it adjusts the brightness so quickly. But, they're bright. They're super, super bright. And there's one that shines like straight out on the sides. Yeah. Come on. Not only are they bright, and you guys can't see it at all, but they're super cool looking. I mean, yeah. I did notice, and I thought this was pretty interesting, that the headlight lights, they're not actually shining straight out. There's actually bulbs in the top, and then it's got a curved reflector, and the same thing on the bottom. The bulbs are down, or the LEDs are clear down there in the bottom, and then they've got that reflector that's curved that's reflecting it and pointing it out. So they're super bright. Okay, let's get this tank loaded up, get it taken where it needs to go. All right, well, I got that tank dropped off. I think that's the last thing I filmed. I'm not really sure if I was going to do that. And then Dad and I were working on some stuff. I was reading my manual for a little while. Now Jack is here and we're trying to cap the lines, that fuel line and the return line from where that tank hooked up so that we can move this truck. They're a hard plastic fuel line, and so I can't just pinch them and squeeze them off like if it was a rubber hose. I'm trying to find the right fittings to do it, and I don't have anything. It's kind of close to, it's this style, but this is quarter and it's a T, and I need to go find some fittings and a cap so that we can do that. So, and it's lunchtime. We'll be back. Well, this fittings here were the ones that I needed in order to connect to the fuel lines. We got those. I probably could have done it if I would have taken the fittings off of the tank before I took the tank in, but I forgot. So, and then the other end is just a regular pipe thread, and then we're just putting couplers, or in this case an elbow on with a plug in it, and that should work as long as we can get these all to seal up somewhat relatively well. I need to get some wrenches, and then we'll try it. All right, so we've got those on, tightened up, sealed up. It should start now, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find out. How are we going to get up there? Sweet. Well, that was easy. Maybe we don't need a driver's side fuel tank. We'll just build a step. If it was warmer out, I'd think about backing it outside and power washing, but it's not. It's 30 degrees today, so maybe in a couple weeks when we get our tank back and before we bring it in, we'll power wash then. All right, that'll sit there out of the way until we get our tank back and can put it back together. Progress is being made on our barn. We'll go check that out later this afternoon. All right, well, the truck's out of here. We'll do a little cleaning up on the floor. We pushed that fuel off to the side there. Somebody sent me an Instagram video or showed me why we were getting so much fuel out of that yesterday. Apparently, that line that we still had attached to the back was siphoning fuel out of the other side. That makes sense. Never thought of it. So until we got below that and it let air in there, yeah, makes sense, but I never would have guessed that. So anyway, I'm going to sweep the floor up a little bit. Yeah, we'll do that. All right, now that our floor is relatively cleaned up, Jack's comparing tractors. I wanted to talk to you about the compaction and the differences between the tracks, 8RX, 8RT, 8R wheeled. I've got that tractor sitting there kind of for comparison. It's not really a fair comparison, but we'll go with it, at least visually on it and stuff. So this tractor is heavy. Let's see, base weight. Let me find that. It's on here, I know it. Let me find it. Okay, so the base weight is not on here, but I do know that it is roughly 43,000 pounds on that tractor. And a wheeled version, an 8R, front duals, rear duals, row crop, like the 335R has, same tires, weighs somewhere in the 30,000 pound range. Like there's a 13,000 pound weight difference between those tractors. But what does that mean compaction wise and stuff? Because you got to compare the footprint area of the tracks versus tires and yeah. So and this 8RX with 18-inch tracks, which we have, ground pressure, minimum ballast versus maximum ballast. So at the minimum ballast, it is 8.8 pounds per square inch. Maximum ballast, it is 9.5. Okay. There is 32.3 square feet of ground contact area underneath those tracks. All right. So on the wheeled version, front and rear duals, but they're going to be in that configuration just with front duals. On an 8R, 480 80R50 rear duals, 420 85 R34 front duals. Your minimum ground pressure, minimum ballast ground pressure is 9.8, already higher than this one maximum ballast, and 15.5 if you have a wheeled version fully weighted up. So even though it's 13,000 pounds heavier, it's putting less pressure on the ground because there's so much more of a footprint. And the added benefit that this doesn't talk about is that it's in the line, right? There is one track. We're going to be between one row or two rows here on this tractor. Now, if you look at the tires on this one here next to it for comparison, look, you're going to have a row here, and another row on the outside of the duals. So you're actually compacting it partially for 3 rows rather than the 2 that one is. In my mind, that's going to make a bigger difference than anything, is that we're leaving an additional row completely unaffected from the tractor. Not to mention that we're lighter on the ground on top of that, okay? An 8RT, just for reference, a 2-track version instead of a 4-track with 18-inch tracks. Minimum ballast is 10.3, maximum is 10.9. PSI, and footprint on an 8R wheeled, 19.8 square feet versus the 32.3 on this tractor. That's where the difference is coming from. You're spreading the weight out so much. On the 2-track version, 8RT, it's 24.8 square feet. So you go from 19.8 to 24.8 to 32.3 on the RXs. What this sheet does do a very good job, though, is to demonstrate that and show it. So this is comparing 8RX to 8R tractors, and you can see you've got 4 tracks with long footprint area versus 8 tires with relatively small footprint area. 8RX with 18-inch track has a 39% larger footprint, average 54% lower ground pressure than an 8R with row crop tires. Right there. That's the advantage that I am looking for. Just for comparison again to the 8RT, an 8RX with 18-inch tracks has a 23% larger footprint than an 8RT with 18-inch tracks. Average 14% lower ground pressure. So are tracks better than tires? You mean a 2-track? Absolutely. 4-track is better. That's why we've got it. So anyway, that's the reason why I feel the tracks are going to be such a huge advantage for us in reducing our compaction issues and those pinch rows that we were seeing in our corn. And I mean, you can just see, look how long the area of material on the ground is there. And especially in this back one, there's a huge footprint and contact area versus these tires on this other tractor where you got 1, 2, 3, 4 lugs at the absolute most, probably 3 in contact with the ground at any one time. Granted, it's times 2 tires, but what is that? 18 inches, 2 feet if you're being real generous. So you got 3 to 4 feet versus this one is probably 6 feet long, and yeah, it's just such a bigger footprint and contact area with the ground, and that's why it lowers the pressure that it's exerting on the soil surface. I read somewhere, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read somewhere that tractor has the same effect on soil compaction and density as I do walking on it. In other words, the ground pressure that we exert is the same. That's crazy if you ask me. All right, well, if anybody has any questions as far as the ground contact and compaction and all of that stuff, we're gonna learn some more about it once we get her in the field this spring and see what things look like, and who knows, maybe we'll have a super dry spring and it won't matter. Maybe we'll have a terrible wet spring and we'll be really, really glad that we have these. I don't know. It's looking wetter and later than last year, because last year we started on March 17th, and that's in 2 weeks. I don't think we're going to be planting beans in 2 weeks. Our ground is pretty frozen and pretty wet right now, so I don't know. We'll see. But I'm still pretty excited about it. Anyway, I got to go run to the town and pick up some stuff that I ordered last week and stuff for the house. So I'm going to go do that. And this video is probably long enough, so thanks for watching, everybody. So I came to pick up some cabinets that I had ordered to put in our pantry, and I was not prepared for the amount of stuff. Like, I know you guys probably can't see the back, but it's full, and I mean, I got boxes. Oh man. So we got project for tonight, I guess. It'll be okay. Yeah, we got a pile of stuff. Well, I was gonna give you guys an update on the building there. I told you I was going to, but they're still there working, and it's weird for me to go out and film while they're there working and stuff. They're there when I get there, they're there when I leave, which, I mean, that's good. They're getting stuff done, but maybe tomorrow. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great night. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave me any questions you got, comments, that good stuff, and we'll see you tomorrow.